So we're back in the greenhouse for greenhouse update number 2. So get ready because we got a lot to go over today. Okay, so as you can see, some of our plants are starting to produce flowers. So that's a great thing normally, except right now we're not selling them, so we don't really want them to produce flowers yet. But there's something we need to do in the meantime. Since they are producing flowers, those flowers are blooming and then dying. So once the flower starts dying, we're going to deadhead the flower. And so what that means is we're just going to pinch it off. That's all that means. So what this is going to do is it's going to promote more floral blooms, more flowers on the plant. You want to get rid of those dead flowers as quickly as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to start pinching off all the flowers that have died. So this guy right here has a flower that has recently died. So it's bloomed. It looked like this for a while, and then it has died. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take it and we are going to pinch it off just like that. That's all there is. Okay, so we've got 3 varieties that are flowering right now. The first one is the one you just saw. That's our petunias. Our bacopa is also flowering, and so are our New Guinea impatiens. So we're going to go through each of those. I'm going to show you what the flowers look like, and I'm going to pinch off the ones that have died. All right, so here's our bacopa flower. You can see it's kind of on its way out, so we're just going to go ahead and pinch this guy right off. Okay, so this is our New Guinea impatiens, and you can see it doesn't have a flower yet. It just has this floral bud right here. So we're going to go ahead and pinch that guy off anyway, even though it hasn't developed. So basically, we don't want it to grow flowers right now, so we're going to stop it from wasting its resources on that flower that it doesn't need to develop. We wanted to put on some more leaves first. So this is our New Guinea impatiens. Today I thought it would be a good time to go ahead and talk about the 4 plant tropisms. Okay, so a tropism is basically just a reaction by the plant to its environment that affects the way it grows. So we're going to talk about 4 of them today. The first one we got to talk about, kind of get out of the way, is geotropism. Okay, so geotropism is the natural response of plants to grow against gravity. So plants grow upward, basically, is what that geotropism means. So we know this already. That kind of makes sense. Plants grow against gravity. They try to grow upwards. So that's a response by the plant to its environment called geotropism. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is called phototropism. So phototropism, photo, remember back from photosynthesis, photo means light, right? So it's going to be the plants growing towards light or sources of light. So we've got some pretty dramatic examples of this here in the greenhouse, so I'm going to show them to you now. If you notice these, this mint and this parsley plant right here, they're growing towards the side of the greenhouse, right? They're oriented towards the side of the greenhouse. All the leaves are pointed this direction. So they're not really developing on the left half. They're really only developing on the right half. And so the reason for that is that right next to them, you've got this giant plant right here that's going to shade them out. So as the sun rises from this direction, the sun comes up here, right? They're going to get light, get light, get light, and then all of a sudden they stop getting light when the sun is more than overhead, because these plants are blocking them out. So their natural growth is going to be towards their source of light, which in this case is to the right on these plants. So another kind of tropism we need to talk about is called hydrotropism. Hydro meaning water. So it's the growth of plants towards water. So we see this mostly in the roots. So we got a really good example here where we've got our irrigation working. So I'm going to show you that now. So here we have a nasturtium, right? It's got these really cool round leaves there. So the hydrotropism I wanted to show you is right here. So we've got our irrigation stake, right? So this is dripping water, right? You can see it's dripping a lot of water. It's rained a lot, so it's dripping more water than it should right now. But you can see these roots are all growing towards that source of water, right? These are all roots right here. So the roots are literally surrounding that source of water. That's hydrotropism. The roots are growing towards their source of water. So the last kind of tropism we need to talk about is called thigmotropism. So thigmotropism is the response of plants to touch. So it's when they're going to grow towards things they can touch. So we've seen this outside with our sweet peas that we planted growing up the trellises, but in the greenhouse the best example we have is our morning glories. So we're gonna take a look at those right now. So on the sweet peas, you can see these tendrils hugging this trellis we got in there, this stake, right? So they're hugging that stake right there. That is going to be their growth towards this object. Now, if you look at this morning glory we've got here, right? You can see it's starting in the ground and then it's growing all the way up the stake, right? So it's growing towards the thing it can touch. It's going all the way up here, all the way to the top. So it's growing towards what it can touch. Thigmotropism. This episode's sponsored by Gatorade. Gatorade Melon. I thought it was the orange one, and this one's kind of nasty. Alright, so it's kind of a crappy day outside today. It's been raining for like the past 2 days, and there's like a bunch of water all over the place. But I did want to show you guys what's going on out here in the garden. So we've started moving some of the plants outside, and you might be thinking, that's a little early to start moving plants outside. What if we get a late freeze? If we get a late freeze, we get a late freeze. Our plants will probably not do too well, but we've got a lot of backups in the greenhouse, so I thought might as well risk it. So we've got some stuff planted out here, some vegetables that hopefully we'll be harvesting, you know, early summer, midsummer, some of them even late summer. So they'll be ready by next year. Haven't been getting too much sun, which sucks. There's a lot of standing water, so there's actually a lot of mosquitoes out here too, which is pretty bad. So, but I want to go over the plants though. Okay, so in this plot, we've got some okra and we've got some peppers. So these are bell peppers. We've got 4 different varieties in here. And then we've got our okra right here. Now, hopefully these are not spaced too close together. If not, we'll have to take out maybe the 2 middle ones. We have a lot going on in the greenhouse, so I kind of, and you're going to see this with the other plots, I tend to overplant rather than underplant, just because we do have so many backups we can use. So this is our pepper right there, and this is our okra right there. So hopefully these seem to be doing really well, actually, so I'm pretty excited about these guys. All right, so in this big plot right here, we're gonna have some cucumbers, some red cabbage, and then in the back there, we've planted 3 rows of corn, some sweet corn. So the sweet corn's a hybrid variety. None of them have come up yet, so I'm not going to show you that. But here's our cucumbers. Like I said, we've got a whole bunch of backups in the greenhouse. So I did plant them a little bit close together, although these are a bush variety. So what that means is typically these plants want to kind of grow outwards and spread out a lot. The bush varieties have a more up and down growth pattern, so they should be growing relatively compactly. So that's our cucumbers. So this is the chaos garden. We still haven't, I haven't used half of it yet. We've only used this half over here. So on this half of the chaos plot, we've got some crap, what are those? Oh, those are our summer squash. And then we've got some sweet peas. So the sweet peas have not been doing too well, as you can probably see. But you can see they're starting to hug those stakes, especially this one right here. Starting to hug those stakes, and that is called thigmotropism. That's right. So these summer squash also not doing too well right now. Hopefully we get some more sun. They can start growing a little more. So this is our chaos garden. Things have tended to grow really well in here, so I'm still deciding what to put here. So in the comments, write what you think I should plant in the second half of the chaos garden. Hey guys, I got some bad news. These lettuce might be terrible. Not looking too great. So it looks like some of our snap peas are ready. So we've got a couple here. Let's see, has this guy got any? No, but it looks like this flower's about ready to start producing. Let's check this guy. No, not seeing anything over here either. Is that one? Nope. Nope, nothing over here. So we got some snap peas coming through. Hopefully these guys do all right now that we're getting more sun. It's just been so cloudy and rainy lately. Look at them. Look at how tall they're getting. Hey guys, I put that there for you. Hug that. Hug that. Hug it. There you go. Can this guy get in? Let's go. Let's go. Oh, there. No. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. Oh, look at that. It's like I put those there specifically for you to do that. Alright, quick spud update. So the spuds are looking good. You can see these, this growth is going well. So these will be ready to be planted in about, let's say 2 weeks maybe. 2 weeks. Okay, so as anyone in my advanced class can probably tell you, I'm a sucker for foliage plants, which is reflected in the plants that we purchased for the plant sale. So what I mean by that is a foliage plant is one that's grown for its leaves, versus a flowering plant is one that's grown for its flowers. Now, that's not to say foliage plants don't flower, it's just that's not really the trait you're looking for in a foliage plant. So I'm going to go through some of the plants and show you the difference, and you'll probably be able to see it. It's very dramatic, the difference between the foliage on the foliage plants and the foliage on the flowering plants. This one is called Ajuga. I think the variety is bronze. So this color will actually become kind of a, maybe here's maybe a better look, a kind of almost actually bronze color. You can see right here it's starting to develop. That's the color we're looking for on this plant. So some of the newer leaves are getting it. This is another very dramatic plant that can add a lot of color and a lot of texture to a planter, to a yard, anything like that. So one thing people really love in plants, especially a foliage plant, is some nice variegation. So you can see this is an inch plant and it's got really great variegation. And now what that means is different zones of the leaf or stem are going to have different colors. So this one has that white and green variegation. Really, really great. You love to see it. And this one I think is going to be a great seller. I'm not sure what this variety is called. I need to look that up, because this is, I mean, that is, look at that. That's beautiful. Doesn't get much better than that. Amazing. And finally, we've seen these guys already, but another flowering plant that also has really great foliage, which I think contributed to its really good sales last year at the plant sale, is this New Guinea impatiens. So New Guinea impatiens are like normal impatiens, except their flowers are way bigger. So this one is going to have pink flowers, and you can see it's going to contrast nicely with that really dark foliage. So this is a really, really great plant. This is one of my favorites. Okay, so one plant I'm really excited about is this coleus that we're growing. Once again, I'm not really sure of the variety name, but just look at this variegation. I mean, it's got like 4 different colors going on, and what's so interesting about this is the variegation is speckled. So it's not in those zones like we saw the other one where it's kind of segmented. This one is speckled all over the place. So this is one I'm really excited about. I hope this guy does well. This is probably my favorite coleus. Okay, so remember when I just said that was probably my favorite coleus? I actually forgot about this guy. So this one's called Black Dragon coleus. So that purple color is actually going to turn even darker to where it's almost black. It's going to have this really ruffled appearance on the leaves. You can see that kind of ruffled pattern, right? And the inside is going to be red. So I think they've started calling this Goth coleus. That's not the actual variety name, but I think it fits. This one I'm also very excited about. It's probably my favorite coleus. Okay guys, so that was greenhouse update number 2. Please let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about that I didn't talk about today. So have a great week. Make sure you're looking at the blog, checking on that work I give you all. Stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands. Have a great rest of your week.